Hey there, welcome to Connector Dots for Mindset Monday. Do you have a daily routine? How are you starting your morning or ending your day? Well, welcome to Connector Dots. These are brief, candid insights on healthcare, pharmacy, and life. Today, during Monday Mindset, I will share with you my daily routine in some ways that I've tried to create some structure to allow for a routine that allows me to be more productive and feel like I'm accomplishing things, and creating a block schedule so that I have places to put my to-do items without taking over my entire day. So I'm your host, Kimmer Booth. I'm a strategic pharmacy coach and consultant, and I'm a pharmacy entrepreneur. I help pharmacists strategically advocate for roles and resources to advance pharmacy practice and to have joyful, engaging careers. Today, I want to talk to you about my daily routine. I've often read, and maybe you have too, how important having a daily routine, especially a morning routine, are when it comes to having what you're doing in your day. I apologize, I'm looking down, just making sure the live is coming through. So the way I've structured this, and I literally have this on my calendar, and I probably should, create an image of this. I literally have it scheduled in my calendar that has the blocks of time that I have throughout my day. So my first goal of the day is to wake up at the same time every day. So it's important, of course, for your sleep habits, your sleep routines, to have the same time. And of course, ideally at least 7.5 hours a day for most people. So that is my target. I do use my sleep watch and my app to help track and make sure I'm meeting my goal. I know I've recently admitted to some of you on these sessions that I was getting into bad habits, staying up too late, not following my routine, but gotten back to those habits. And so my first habit is to wake up at 5:45 every day. That's 5:30, 5:45, because my husband leaves for work at 5:30. So I usually do get up at that time, and then I exercise, is my usual routine. So I get up and I exercise, and then I shower and get ready. Now that I've been working from home, that's a little bit more flexible. And actually, I've got my kids in the habit. They are wanting to exercise with me in the morning. So I'm still getting up at the same time, but I'm usually doing a little bit of reading. I usually do meditate in the morning and at night. So I do the meditations in the morning. And then I usually do wait till, more like 6:30, 7 o'clock to do some exercise with my kids. We go down to our workout room together. We start off for them. We started with the 7 minute workout. So they will do that with me, sometimes 1 or 2 sets of that. And then they'll usually leave me to other things. So that's my morning, and then usually I am, starting work by 7:30. I will have a breakfast. Admittedly, I would used to do that before I would leave for work or eat in the car. Now that I'm working from home, I do tend to bring that downstairs and get a jump start on my morning while I'm eating breakfast. Can't even believe I'm admitting that to you, but that is kind of my routine. Definitely on the weekends, that's a little bit different. I do, sit down, have a full breakfast with my kids and husband on the weekends. So my weekdays are fairly similar, and actually that morning routine is the same, 7 days a week. So I know some people like to sleep in on weekends. I personally like to have the same routine even on the weekends. My body just does better with that. In the evening time, do try to end work for my day, and by 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then I usually do one of these live sessions, and may or may not be making dinner, and then plan to have dinner by 6 o'clock, and then go for a family walk. And after dinner, it will depend on the day of the week, but most days of the week, it would be a family walk after dinner. Sometimes over the summer we were going for some bike rides, but that was definitely took up a lot of time. So my normal, more common routine is to do a walk with the family during the weekdays. And then spend some time with the kids, getting them to read, do some math homework, things like that. But then there are a few nights a week I usually do set aside to do some business work. So obviously before, when I was a full-time employee and part-time entrepreneur, side hustle, if you will, I definitely had several nights a week that I was doing my business, but now I try to reserve, a couple hours on the evenings during the week, depending on how much consulting clients I have during my weekdays. I will set aside some time for that. Always fit in my kids' family bedtime routine around 8 p.m. So that they're in bed by 8:30. 9 o'clock, they push it a little bit on the weekends, but that's kind of our set time. Usually do reading, me reading to them, sometimes the older brother reading to their younger brother and sister. So that's my routine around that time. And then it's usually spouse time, and then 9:45 is my time to meditate. So my goal, according to my schedule, is to be in bed and meditating at 9:45 and kind of getting to sleep by 10. So that's what allows me to still, wake up at 5:30 in the morning and still have 7.5 hours to sleep. So that's my main routine. And like I said, I do set aside these blocks of time, which I literally call to do business. And that is part of my set routine. Now, I shared with you last week that I do have, at the end of the day, around 4:30, when I am trying to wrap things up, I do my daily and then weekly quadrant 2 planning. So that's also an important part of my day. But in those to-do business time, that's where I will take some of my to-do list and plug those into those time slots. Now, on the weekend, what differs on the weekend is I do try to spend more family time. My husband's schedule does rotate, so he's not always home on the weekends. He does have some days off, depends on, again, his rotating schedule. But he's usually home by 2:30. So sometimes we have some time together with me just and the kids, try to do something with them. Again, usually have breakfast together, usually a slightly bigger breakfast on the weekends. And then I literally do have a time slot for family, finance, and administration on Saturday mornings. I know that doesn't sound like fun, but that is how I start my Saturdays. I do have a cleaning service, so I don't have to clean the house anymore on Saturdays. That used to be my routine. So that's nice that I don't have that. And then I do have some time blocked on Saturdays to potentially work on my business. Again, depending on how much consulting work I'm doing during the week, I do some work on the weekends, like on my blog, on my courses, and things like that. And then my evening routines is similar, except that I do usually set aside at least one night a month for date night. Those date nights are very different these days because we are not going out too often, although we are celebrating our anniversary this month. So we will be doing something, I'm sure, to celebrate. And then Sunday morning is church at 9:30. So after breakfast, go to church or watch virtual church these days. And then definitely usually set aside a longer period of time for family bike and hike at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoons. Just as usually allows for that full longer bike ride that we like to go on. And then back to family dinner preparation and dinner at 5 o'clock. So that is my daily routine and schedule. Am I perfect at following it? No. I do actually have like lunch blocked on my calendar at 12, but that does not always happen. I do sometimes, I'm just like you, probably fitting that in between meetings and things like that, but I have it all on my calendar. And I honestly don't remember who taught me to do that years ago. Obviously, I've studied a lot on productivity, time management, but it has helped me to think more strategically about how I am spending my time. And when I did transition from, a side hustle to full-time entrepreneur, I relooked at it and I moved things around and I changed things up to see how it would work better with my time. I'm not traveling a lot right now, which does help with some of the interruptions that I might have in my week. Because when I would travel, of course, I would try to group all of my work during the days that I'm away. So when I'm traveling and I'm staying in a hotel, I would do that. And then after that, I would come home and then I wouldn't need to do the work while I was home. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thanks so much for joining me on Monday Mindset. Join me for future live connector dots. And please connect with me at kimberbooth.com/connect so that we can stay in contact together. Be bold, be a connector, advance healthcare and pharmacy practice. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.